Stop drinking soda today, and within 12 hours, your blood sugar levels will stabilize. In 4 weeks, tooth enamel and gut bacteria actively repair themselves, and by the 18 months mark, your risk of developing coronary heart disease will have significantly dropped. Those milestones reveal a harsh biological reality. A daily soda habit forces the human body to operate in a continuous state of physiological stress. Every can you consume triggers a systemic response across your metabolic, digestive, and cardiovascular systems. This visualization contrasts the blood glucose of a regular soda drinker against a stable, healthy baseline. Regular soda's high fructose corn syrup bypasses digestion, forcing erratic glycemic fluctuations and massive insulin spikes. Swapping to zero sugar options doesn't solve it. Synthetic substitutes like sucralose destroy beneficial gut bacteria, triggering glucose intolerance and leaving your blood sugar nearly as erratic. These initial metabolic shifts demonstrate that soda impacts your physiology well before the calories are even digested. Reversing that damage begins with a crash. Between 12 and 24 hours after your last sip, your central nervous system realizes its reliable supply of rapid dopamine and caffeine has been entirely cut off. This triggers a severe withdrawal headache. Caffeine acts as a vasoconstrictor, keeping the blood vessels in your brain slightly narrowed. When the caffeine clears your system, those vessels suddenly expand. This sudden rush of blood flow creates a sharp, throbbing pressure inside the skull. At the same time, your mood plummets. Without the surge of dopamine usually provided by liquid sugar, you will likely experience acute fatigue, irritability, and intense cravings as your brain demands its usual chemical reward. But underneath that physical misery, a critical biological victory is taking place. Your circulating levels of epinephrine finally begin to drop. With the artificial sugar spikes gone, your pancreas dramatically scales back its insulin hyperproduction. The acute misery of the first 24 hours is the necessary first step in rescuing your pancreas from eventual burnout and halting the progression toward insulin resistance. By the time you reach the 2 to 4 week mark, your body moves from withdrawal into structural adaptation. Without the daily wash of highly acidic carbonation, your salivary pH neutralizes, returning to a healthy protective range. In this neutralized environment, your vulnerable tooth enamel stops dissolving and begins a natural process of remineralization, drawing calcium and phosphate from your saliva to harden the surface of your teeth. Further down in the digestive tract, your body begins repairing a condition called dysbiosis. This is a severe microbial imbalance caused by artificial sweeteners, where inflammatory bacteria have dominated the ecosystem and compromised your gut lining. With the toxic sweeteners removed, critical anti-inflammatory bacteria like lactobacillus are finally able to repopulate the gut, multiplying and shrinking the inflammatory populations back down to a manageable size. Healing this specific microbial imbalance directly shuts down the chemical compensation effect, the biological distress signal that previously drove your intense cravings for calorie-dense, sugary foods. By week 4, a physical sensory shift occurs. Your taste receptors, no longer numbed by extreme artificial sweetness, regain their natural sensitivity. If you were to take a sip of regular soda now, your palate would reject it as sickeningly sweet and syrupy. Surviving the first month rewires your digestive ecosystem and restores your physical perception of taste. Moving into the 3 to 18-month window, the healing process reaches your major organs. Your liver stops a process called de novo lipogenesis, the rapid conversion of fructose directly into fat. As this stops, visceral fat around your organs begins to shrink. This kicks off compounding cardiovascular benefits. Clinical trials show that eliminating just 1 serving of soda a day results in a measurable, sustained drop in systolic blood pressure. Lower blood pressure, combined with reduced visceral fat, directly translates to a significant reduction in your long-term risk of coronary heart disease and stroke, metrics closely tracked by institutions like the American Heart Association. At the same time, a silent skeletal rescue is taking place. Colas are packed with phosphoric acid. Chronic consumption forces the body into a state of severe calcium malabsorption, pulling critical minerals right out of your system. This cellular-level visualization shows how the body compensates. To keep blood calcium levels stable, the body releases parathyroid hormone, which activates osteoclast cells. These cells dissolve the bone's structural matrix to release stored calcium back into the bloodstream. When you stop drinking soda, the phosphoric acid load disappears, normal calcium absorption resumes, and this hormone-driven bone resorption halts entirely. Your bone mineral density is protected and stabilized. This final phase pulls your internal systems out of a state of emergency structural decay and establishes long-term biological stability. Eliminating soda removes the daily pressure on your oral pH, insulin sensitivity, and microbial diversity. Engineered sweetness has been aggressively normalized for generations, deeply ingrained in our culture from mid-century soda fountains to modern drive-thrus. Opting out of that system is a radical departure from the societal norm. By walking away, you establish a new chemical baseline. Operating without artificial triggers allows your brain chemistry and your cellular metabolism to function without constant synthetic interference. The cravings vanish, not because you mastered your willpower, but because the physical and chemical dependencies driving them have been completely severed down at the microbial level. Stopping the habit severs the microbial and chemical dependency, leaving you with a baseline of biological autonomy.